Turkish security forces have reportedly detained several members of the Al-Nusra Front, a jihadist group that's fighting among the Syrian rebels against the Assad government. The men were apparently on their way to the Syrian border, transporting a cylinder of Sarin nerve gas. RT's Middle East correspondent Paula Slier with the latest.
The group was seized in southern Turkey, and that is according to local media reports. The media also saying that they carried a 2-kilogram cylinder with the nerve agent Sarin. Now, Turkish authorities haven't yet commented on this report, and we are waiting to hear from them. Britain, the United States and France in the past have said that they believe it is Assad, however, that is using chemical weapons, but they haven't been able to produce any kind of evidence to prove this. The British government has written to the United Nations Ban Ki-moon alleging 3 new incidents of chemical use by Assad's forces, and at the same time the French government says that it is testing samples that were smuggled out by journalists. But all of this is hearsay at the moment, whereas on the other hand we have, and here what we're seeing is fighters from the Al-Nusra Front allied with the Syrian rebels caught with the sarin nerve agent gas. It is important also to point out and remind our viewers that the United Nations did launch an independent investigation, and what that investigation concluded was that there were signs that rebels have been using the sarin nerve agent. In another investigation that was initiated by the UN Chief Ban Ki-moon, that was criticized by Damascus because they said that what Ban Ki-moon was hoping to do was to investigate every site in Syria. And the Syrians said it reminded them of the Iraqi-style investigation into weapons of mass destruction. The use of chemical weapons is banned under international law, and there are concerns by many people that the arguments that they are being used could trigger some kind of international intervention. Now, there are efforts by the US and Russia to hold peace talks in Geneva next month, but the Syrian National Coalition has said that it will not participate in these talks unless Iran and Hezbollah renounce all involvement in the Syrian conflict. This statement does follow the Syrian army's advances in the central part of the country, but with the European Union's arms embargo now lifted, some think that the rebels may try to gain the upper hand on the ground. Now, all of this is happening while the first batch of Russian anti-aircraft missiles arrives in Syria. Now, that's according to the Syrian President Bashar Assad. He announced it while speaking on a Hezbollah television network. Moscow has said that it will continue to supply air defense missiles, calling it a balance designed to deter foreign intervention in Syria. The US, of course, is against the sale, and Israel has said that it will act to, quote the Israeli defense minister, to prevent the S-300 missiles from becoming operational on Syrian soil. The minister saying that if the missiles reach Syria, Israel, to quote him, will know what to do.
It's one of the big stories that's rumbling on. We want to know what you think about it. What do you think about the European arms embargo now being lifted? Thanks for voting on our website if you have done already. This is what you're telling us. 74% of you think this. Yeah, indeed it is. The majority of you think it's going to prolong the war, it's going to cost lives. You think, basically, it's bad news. 13% of you think it's going to save the rebels from losing the war. The rest of you split there between giving the Gulf states new channel for arms and twisting Assad's arms in the talks. You think it'll be positive. But as you can see, the difference between that and that, very substantial. RT.com is where you can have your say, you can make your votes count, and if you've got anything different to say as well, don't forget you can always comment on our website. Go to the comments section, get it off your chest, tell us what you think.